And there's a back and forth going on right now between the alcohol industry and state and addiction advocacy groups.
That's right. A state-level task force is trying to determine how to make proper use of tax money that comes from alcohol sales and production. Aaron Ariano spoke with an Oregon brewer about his concerns.
Aaron Sarnoff-Wood is the co-founder and vice president of sales for Two Towns Cider House based in Corvallis. He spends a lot of time crunching numbers for sales, marketing, you name it. But he says he saw some numbers from state lawmakers that didn't add up.
Those numbers coming from state lawmakers who are trying to create new policies to tax alcohol production at an extremely high rate, all to fund addiction services around the state.
It was House Bill 3312, and that was a prior attempt to increase beer and wine taxes, and it was a 1,500% increase to taxes. That was the proposal. And as I looked at the numbers, that tax would have been larger than my company's total profit for the year, which, obviously would have put me out of business.
He says that number was calculated from data from a 2019-2020 report from the National Survey on Drug Use and Health. The data measures the number of people suffering from substance abuse disorders, but Aaron says that data is unusable because two different methods were being used in 2019 and 2020, as opposed to just one method. He says the data, now spiked, framed a false picture about substance and alcohol addiction in the state. Despite that data being retracted, people still ran with it.
We saw a large amount of reporting. A number of journalists made conclusions looking at that data that Oregon's addiction rates were skyrocketing. Again, though, the data did not support that conclusion. It was just a change in methodology. Because it was so prevalent in the media, we saw a lot of legislators then working on extreme proposals to combat what they perceived as a red alert addiction crisis.
Now, as a member of the Alcohol Tax Task Force, Aaron's joined by only a handful of other alcohol industry members, teaming up with a large amount of lawmakers and addiction service advocates. He's trying to steer them in a direction where they can fund addiction services without the alcohol industry being choked to death by taxes.